Will your computer be able to run Halo Reach on PC? Well, 343 recently released their official PC specs, at least preliminary ones. So let's get right into the video so you can understand all the details. How's it going, everybody? It's Kevin here once again, giving you another news informational video. Today we're talking about the official PC specs released by 343. I know I released a video yesterday about this, giving my speculations on what they might be. Well, to make me look like a goof, 343 decided to literally release the official PC specs about an hour or two after my video, so that made that video completely irrelevant. So now I'm giving you guys the official PC specs, guys. So if you like these kind of informational videos, please make sure to tap that like button as it lets me know you want to see some more content like this, and it greatly helps out the channel and video. Leave a comment down below if you think you guys will be able to run this game on PC. I really hope so, because I've been playing the Flight 3 and tell you guys it is a real joy to be able to play this on PC. And if you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date with anything Halo related, make sure you tap subscribe to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that notification, get notifications whenever I do anything awesome on the channel, which is going to be every time. So let's get right into the video here. So like I said at the top of this video, 343 recently released their official PC specs. Now, this is an interesting game. You would think that pretty much you would be able to run any kind of hardware you have would be able to run this game. Well, not exactly, because of some other underlying engines in this game. I've been playing this on PC and I haven't really noticed much performance difference when it comes to like lowering the resolution or changing the graphics settings from like low, mid, or high. It doesn't really impact my performance a whole lot. It's mainly the Unreal 4 engine that kind of runs in the background of this game that kind of makes it a little more taxing than you would expect, because obviously this game was completely designed to be on the Xbox 360 and that alone. But it seems like with this PC upgrade, there's some additional life improvements when it came to playing this game on the platform that 343 decided to add in, which adds a little bit extra taxation to your setup. And let me tell you guys, when I first jumped in on the Flight 3, I was expecting just to be able to run this at the highest settings possible and be able to do just fine, because obviously this game was released in 2010. There were games that were released around 2012, 2013, 2014 that I was able to play and stream just fine, but not so much with Halo Reach, as it is a little bit taxing with the underlying engines in this game, specifically Unreal 4. And so when I jumped in and tried to stream this game, it was nothing but frame drops. I could barely play the game. I had to, figure out a way to make this whole thing work. Essentially, I had to just reduce my entire production value on my live stream to basically just gameplay with an overlay like you're seeing right now, which this gameplay was ripped from my live stream. So if you guys want to check me out there, link in the description down below. I do stream every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9 p.m. Additional days on top of that, but that's a little inconsistent. Those are my guaranteed days for sure. But yeah, so when I first tried to jump in, I tried playing this, it was just nothing but frame drops and horribleness. I even had an error code pop up saying that an Unreal 4 engine crashed, which made the game shut down, and then my entire PC soon after that. So for all you content creators out there, or potential content creators that want to make videos or any kind of content about this game in particular, start on here, you're going to want at least a decent PC setup, because obviously you want to do the 1080p 60 FPS, at least when you're streaming 720p 60 FPS. But when I was running with my i5 2500K at trying to do my usual production value, it was bogging down quite a bit. Now I do have my GPU is also a 1080 Ti, so that's not the issue at all. It's mainly my processing unit that I have in my computer really kind of holding back the streaming setup. So you definitely would want like an i7 on your computer when it comes to making any kind of streaming or video content creation on this game. If you want to have like unlimited potential when it comes to your streams. For me, I had to limit my streams down to just what you're seeing on screen right now. Now, obviously, if you just want to play the game and that's it, you're just kind of a centered fan of the game, well, luckily for you, you do not require a whole lot to be able to play this game. I'm going to put up a graphic that 343 put together right now, and I'm going to show it right here. Now you can see that it comes up with your GPU, CPU, RAM, and average FPS expected with a minimum and recommended and maximum, I guess you call it, specs when it comes to playing Halo Reach on PC, with AMD and NVIDIA both shown in this option right here. Now in my last video I did suggest running an i5 2500K. Is probably what I have, is probably the minimum you would want, and they say right here that you can actually run this game on an i3 550. setup. Now, this is kind of the whole point of using this flighting program that 343 has put together for Halo Reach on PC, so they can figure out what are the actual minimum specs for this game if you want to be able to play this, or what are the recommended specs that you need to play this game at its full potential right here. And so, if you're going to be playing the game by itself in i3, you might be able to get away with just fine. With also potentially a GeForce GTS 450 with 8 gigs of RAM, you'd average about 50 to 55 frames on that one right there, which I do really appreciate how 343 has gone into the details of expecting what kind of frames and experience to get in this game. Now, that does not mention resolution, because over here in the middle column it talks about your standard 1080p 60 FPS. What's the minimum of that, which I view as the minimum specs when it comes to be able to play this game on PC. Now obviously if you cap your frames at 30, then you'd be able to probably do an even lower setup as well if you want to go ultra classic when it comes to your PC setup here. But you can see they mentioned an i7 870, which I think I looked it up and it ran for about like 120 bucks for that CPU, so not a very powerful one is needed. So again, like you might see i7, you might like, oh my god, I only have an i3 or an i5. Trust me guys, an i5 would do just fine with this, and also a GTX 560 Ti, which I actually used to have, and I was thinking, you know what, that graphic card will probably hold up as well, and it certainly does with 8 gigs of RAM, averaging about 60 FPS. That would be my minimum experience when it comes to playing this game. Now, also, if you want to play in its true full glory, you actually all you need is an i5 3450 and a GTX 770 with 8 gigs of RAM to get a solid 4K 60 FPS experience with this game. Again, I really do appreciate 343 being able to go into details about exactly what the kind of your minimum and recommended experience you're looking to have in this game. Because so many game companies go like, well, the minimum specs are like 720p 30 FPS. I'm like, if I'm going to play in 720p 30 FPS, I'm just going to buy on console at that point, you know? But because my minimum experience on PC, which has always been I'd say viewed as the minimum experience on PC, is 1080p 60 FPS since like 2010 or something like that. And so I'm really glad that 343 was willing to go into the details of this. Now, keep in mind that all these specs are for Steam platform. The Windows platform specs are going to be coming out soon. I wouldn't imagine these changing a whole lot. If anything, it might be maybe a little bit more or less taxing on the system. Depends how how intrusive the Windows Store wants to be on your computer right there. Now, Halo Reach is also going to be one of the more taxing games in the MCC that are coming to PC because it was released in 2010. But there's one game in particular that I really would like to play on PC, but I'm worried if I would be able to play it, would be the Halo 2 Anniversary, which would be the most taxing game on the system. Anything below, if you could run anything on Halo 2 Anniversary, then you'd be able to play all the games just fine. So you can pretty much look at these specs too and thinking like, okay, you definitely would be able to play Halo 3, Halo 2, CE, ODST, any game that came out before Halo Reach, you'd be able to play just fine. So these are pretty close to like the overall specs that you would need to be able to play this game. Obviously, when it comes to Halo 2 Anniversary, we might get a little bit of a different story. It might be a little bit more kind of up to your current standards when it comes to PC specs you would need. So probably something like a 1080 Ti, maybe like an i5, something like that. I would also probably hold it about to the same level of specs as Destiny 2. Which here you can see I took some screenshots of the minimum of Destiny 2 on PC. You can see it's an i3 3250 and also with a GTX 660 on top of that as well for your graphics on top of that. And then if you're recommending, you have an i5 2400 and then also possibly like an i5 740. And also on top of that, for a GPU, you're probably looking into a 1060 or 970 for NVIDIA graphics cards with 8 gigs of RAM on top of that. So you guys, those are the minimum and recommended and also just maximum specs you would need to be able to play Halo Reach on PC. And I'm sure we'll get some more of these specs with each game coming to PC for the MCC. If you guys want to stay up to date with that information, make sure to tap subscribe to the channel, guys, because it keeps you up to date with everything going on with Halo. If you learned anything in this video, please make sure to tap that like button, as it greatly helps out the video and channel. We're small time guys, and we're trying to get a little bit bigger here, so it really would help out the channel. Leave a comment down below what your specs are. If you think you'll be able to run this game right here, and if you're new to the channel or missing any content from me, check out the videos on the screen right now. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.